get a little bit of grace during these types of situations. And at the same time, Dr. Umar Johnson is in town this weekend too, and I know people are trying to go see him, so we kind of want to stay in a timely fashion. So I'm going to take this time to kind of go over what our vision is, what we're actually trying to do. We're trying to build a sustainable community and an eco village. And to give you, yes, ma'am, I'll take that, an idea of what that looks like, I'm going to kind of give you the details on that. And of course, the reason why we're doing this is because it's getting more and more clear and apparent that the system is kind of crumbling, and we have to do something that is our own, something that we have dominion over, something that is not so intertwined with the system that's falling, so that when it falls, we fall too. So our mission is to create a stress-free environment where ones can cultivate wellness and balance within their own being. We do so through collective work and economics, purposeful living, financial freedom, wellness workshops, retreats, classes, seminars, lectures, festivals, arts, culture, and community gatherings that support the concept of self-sustainable, eco-friendly, green living. This is something that we see as being good for the planet as well as good for our own humanity. So the first component to this eco village that we want to create is what we're calling the project the Nile River Eco Village Project. That's what we're calling it at this time. And so we want to create what we call our Nile River Life Sciences Center. This will be like a community center where all of our classes go on, and our focus is going to be on adult education for holistic living. One of the reasons why the world around us is so out of balance is because we're not living holistically. And so people don't understand the relationship that we all share, the relationship between food and our health, the relationship between finances and our peace, the relationship even between the male and the female energies. We're struggling on so many different levels. And so our goal is to create a life sciences center, which will be kind of like our community hub, where we have our communal meditation center, our communal kitchen and dining hall, things like that, where we do all of our classes. And we also want to have some dorms for living. The folks who are truly going to invest themselves into this scenario will be what we call core members, people who are really active from the beginning to the completion, people who are really, whether you're putting time in, whether you're putting money in, whether you're a landowner, whatever, you will be what we call the core members who are there from start to full manifestation. And at the Nile River Life Sciences Center, these are some of the categories that we want to be teaching us in, from massage therapy, yoga, meditation, holistic parenting, organic food growing, permaculture, astrological sciences, the martial arts, Kemetic spirituality, kinesiology, which is a natural system of diagnosing what's going on in the body, carpentry, iridology, midwifery, sewing, raw vegan culinary arts, herbology, metaphysics, holistic business principles, entrepreneurship, arts and culture, music therapy, jewelry making, and any other idea that we may have of things that we feel are of value to our community. So this is going to be the first component. So let's just say, for example, as a landowner, you have, like we have a gentleman who has 5 acres. And so on his 5 acres, there is a hot mineral springs that is there on that property. There is a building as well. One of the components that we want to create is a bathhouse. So that way people can come and see, the space online. But we want to build something like a bathhouse. That's going to be another component, another building to what we're talking about. And I'm seeing, the more I process this thing and meditate on it, I'm seeing everything in a circular formation, honestly. Circular is the way energy moves best. So I'm seeing like our community, Nile River Life Sciences Center in the center, and all the other aspects centered around, exactly, in a circular formation around it. And then we can have our outer gardens on the outer of that circle, where we grow in our organic food, where we have flower gardens, where we have meditation gardens, where we have labyrinths that are just beautiful. We want to secure and enclose ourselves in lots of fresh, beautiful greenery. So along with the Community Life Sciences Center, we want to create a wellness center. Oh, well, going back to that, all the things, all the disciplines that I just spoke of that we are wanting to teach. If you have an area of expertise in any of those, you might be interested in being a facilitator and teaching some classes in some form of fashion. So this would be a place that you may be able to see yourself fitting in that scenario. Again, as well, everyone, me personally, I want to build this to live, for me to live there. That's my vision. That's my personal vision. Your vision can be, I want to be a part of this because I want to have a place to go and get away when I want to de-stress. You can be a part of it as a resident. You can be a part of it as a facilitator. You can be a part of it as a business partnership, because we're also going to have a business center where we're calling it the Nile River Marketplace. So be thinking, as I'm speaking on these different things, be thinking of where you see yourself fitting in. So then we're going to also create a wellness center. And our wellness center, we would like to have on-site naturopathic health services, from chiropractor to Reiki practitioner, herbalist, pure nutritionist. We may have a ceremonial sweat lodge, people who facilitate all forms of the energy arts, color therapy, aromatherapy, music therapy, and as well, our wellness center will teach classes in the principles on holistic health. So that is another component to what we're working towards, a wellness center. So then again, we have our Nile River Bath House and Spa, which will be another component. And along with the fact that these services will be available to those of us that choose to live on the property, those who choose to be a part of the core collective, it will be available to us. But also in the instance, specifically with the bathhouse, this will be an opportunity for revenue, to generate revenue. At the bathhouse in Atlanta, it's like $25 to go and stay overnight. And it's just a beautiful experience. And they are making big bank over there. And it's Korean owned, and it's nonstop. People are nonstop coming and going all day long, all night long, every day of the week. So I see this as another opportunity for us to generate monies that will allow our community to be self-sustaining. The goal in my mind is that we will not be paying rent and paying bills and things like that. But we will be creating a scenario where we don't have to do that, where we just have to live and function. Everybody has to have a role and a work and responsibility, a contribution that they're bringing that merits their ability to stay and be for free. So that's the goal. So now people who come in from the outside for services, classes, retreats, workshops, those individuals will pay to be on the space. And it may end up as those individuals may at some point desire to become a resident along with the collective. And we spoke about this at the last gathering, that our goal is to have some type of a screening process, some type of an orientation process for people who come in after we've gotten it going, to ensure that they're on the vibration that we're on, they share the same values that we share, that we are really going to be a sanctuary for them, and they're going to be assisting and bringing peace into the community and not stress or strife in any form or fashion. So the bathhouse will be another stream of revenue. And in the bathhouse, you have your showers, your steam rooms, your saunas, your jacuzzis, your hot tubs, your heated rooms with crystal therapies, precious metals. If you just go to the jejusauna.com on the internet, you'll see exactly what we're talking about, what I'm talking about. Also at the bathhouse, the other services that we will want to offer are massages, possibly mud baths, reflexology, facials, manicures, pedicures, a natural hair salon, a natural clothes boutique, meditation space, yoga room, and I envision like an arboretum, or room where there's just all beautiful kinds of plants and things like that for people who really need lots of oxygen in their system. And so it will be a form of oxygen therapy. So that's the other component, the next component. So we have our community center, our wellness center, our bathhouse and spa. Then we're going to have our Nile River Marketplace. This is going to be our business center. Whatever your natural, green, eco-friendly business or service is, this is where we will do that. This is where we'll have our natural organic produce market, grocery market, whatever other services people have to offer will function from the business, the marketplace. Other forms of, I'll come back to that piece. We will also have, we want to have a school for our K through 12. Our young people need an education center. And we have a gentleman who's expressed interest in participating on that part. And his concept is what he calls tribal traditions. And basically it would be an African-centered educational system that offers mentoring, tutoring, everything, all the grade levels, as well as college prep classes, internships for the young people, rites of passage programs as well, and anything else that we feel fits that model, fits into that. So we would collectively be working to help make that manifest. Then we also, I'm seeing like we want to have an amphitheater, an outdoor amphitheater and concert center. And this is going to be, of course, for outdoor festivals, concerts that we want to have come in. This, again, will be another source of revenue for the community, for us to bring in conscious artists, artists that really are about empowering and uplifting people and the community, and promoting that, outwardly, and we will have annual and maybe quarterly festivals. And I just imagine having a raw foods festival up in there. I see us having all kinds of things, a huge Black family reunion festival type of thing. We could have women's empowerment, men's empowerment, relationship festivals and conferences and things like that. All of these things will be streams of revenue that come in and give exposure of our community to people who live on the outside, and so that our community can grow, and we can continue to draw more energy to what we're doing, so that it makes what we do grow more and less work. Jamal, he's not here yet. Jamal Bennett, he set us up on Facebook. Our Facebook page is going to be a closed group just for us. It's called the Nile River Eco Village Project. If you go there and join, then that way we can constantly communicate with each other in between these sessions. And folks who want to bring information, share information, if you have ideas, things like that, we can do that there. But Jamal in particular, he has been collecting and taking classes on building earthen homes, earth ships. And I wanted to share this little video, but it's actually a little long. So what I would prefer to do after I thought about it is when I send the notes out from this meeting, I will send a link to that video so you can watch it. But it's a 30-minute video that shows you in a very concise way how these eco earthen homes are so efficient, how you don't need AC, you don't need heat, you don't really even need running water, because of the way it's put together. It naturally does everything, and it shows it to you very, very efficiently in this video. I was like blown away at how it's put together. So Jamal, that's one of his passions, and he was expressing at the last gathering that he thought he was going to have to go to a whole nother state or something like that to exercise these skills that he's been studying on and researching on for years. And so he considers this as a godsend for him to be able to build some of these projects. And the earthen homes are very beautiful, the way they're put together. It's constant food growing throughout the space, plant life throughout the space. It's all solar powered, it's wind powered. There is a system that recycles the water. So there's some parts of the water is used for drinking, other parts of the water used for the flushing of the commode, other parts of the water system is used to water the plants, and it shows it to you very succinctly, very interesting. So we also want to have a campground, a yurt village and a campground where people, when we have the big festivals, we may not necessarily have all of this lodging for thousands of people. That's how I'm seeing it, thousands of people coming to the festivals. And so we're going to have a tent city area and a campground area where people can bring their RVs and park and set up their tents and do this, that, and the other. And then we'll have a yurt village for people who have special needs, mothers with small babies, elders, things like that, where they can stay in those spaces. And what else? Also, we want to put the space together in such a fashion that is really beautiful, to the degree that people may want to come there and have weddings. We can do honeymoon packages, couples suites, couples retreats, wedding showers, baby showers, family reunions, things like that. These again would be more streams of income for the space, because when you have a space that's really, really It's out, it's naturesque, it's outdoors and indoors as well, and it's comfortable and it's beautiful. People want to get married there, and they want to do all those kinds of wonderful things. So I'm seeing those things as well. We also want to have a Nile River Youth Activity Center. We need something for our young people to do while they're not, learning. And so some of the things that we have listed in our youth activity centers is possibly a little animal farm, a small organic food growing project that the young people in specific deal with, herb garden, flower garden, meditational labyrinth, a gaming center and theater room, as well as youth house dorms. We could also host summer camps for different groups. This again would be another source of revenue for the community. And there may be, if you're an individual who likes to work with young people and you want to be a facilitator for a summer camp, and again, our arrangements, I like to look at it like this, is that there's always a way to do anything and everything. It's just about finding the right agreement, finding the right arrangement that works for everybody involved. So it could be that, you come and devote a month out of, or let's just say 3 months out of the year, or 4 months out of the year, every season. You come and stay at the center for a month during the spring. You come back, maybe stay for a month during the summer, during the fall, the winter, whatever your arrangement is. And while you're there staying for free and eating all the good, fresh, organic, every good thing, and getting all the beautiful services and classes and everything, but you're facilitating, you're teaching classes as well. So everything has to be a give as well as a receive. So just be thinking along those lines, and figure out what is going to be the scenario that works for you. So I wanted to introduce Brother Wali, who is this gentleman sitting right here with the kufi on, and he's a farmer from Rock Hill, South Carolina. He came today to hear what our vision is. He and his family have 70 acres of land, and we're trying to figure out how long we've been knowing each other. We've probably been somewhere in the 10 to 12 years now that we've first come in contact with each other. And over the years, we've talked about several different things. I feel like we're definitely in a place where we're ready to make some movements. So on his 70 acres, there's Jamal now. Greetings. Yes, bless it. So Brother Wali teaches farming at his on his property. They have they are the Cathcart farm, and they take a lot of pride in what they do. This is the way they were raised. He comes from the generation that's what we do in the South. We're farmers. We grow food, and so I really kind of would like it if Brother Wali, you would come over here and sit with me for a moment, so that the people that's there can kind of see as well. You all have a family museum that you built on your property. And I know at one time there was a lot of antique farming equipment out there as well. So tell us a little bit more about what you all have going on.
First, the correct acres was actually 60, was broken down in 30 and 30 when my grandfather and his other son purchased land in 1923. And we have had it in the family since that time. We still all 60 acres. Of course, we don't work all of it now. I've been back on the farm, my family farm, since 1992. I grew up there. graduated from high school in 1955, and I moved to New Jersey. My purpose for going to New Jersey was to play baseball. My dream and aspiration was to be a professional baseball player. So I went up there and raised my family. And I did get a chance to play professional. I didn't play in so-called major league. I played in the Negro Leagues for a couple of years, which I'm proud of. At one time, I had some, I guess, criticism. They thought I didn't make it, but I feel that I did make it. And I've been traveling with the Negro Leagues in the past few years, helping promote this because they have opened up and actually given credit to the Negro Leagues and the major league teams whose minor league affiliates do an annual Negro League day where they recognize us players. So the Baltimore, Charlotte did a great job. So that's one of the things. So that was my purpose for leaving the farm to go play baseball. My desire to come back, because I guess it was so deeply embedded in me that I wanted to come back home. I raised my family. My kids was all home, so I came back in 1992. And my parents were still living at the time, my father and mother. My mother transitioned in 1994, my father in 2000. So my sister and I lived at the home house. And we take care of the farm. I grow basically organic food, and I specialize in raised beds. That's where you raise the bed up from the leaves and other composters and the horse manure. And I've been doing that for, I guess, 8 years, more, or something like that. But it's been going very well. And I've attempted to try to use the farm as a teaching mechanism too. I call it my outdoor classroom. And I started a project with children when I was in New Jersey. We had a spot of land that was city owned, and they wanted people to use it so they didn't have to maintain it. So I got a spot out there and sectioned it off and went around the neighborhood where I live and got a group of kids. My kids was to get about 11 kids and to teach them farming, because kids in the Northeast weren't farming, and I would come south visit my family, and the kids here knew basically nothing about farming because so many people had moved to the city and the farmland was let go. So I started that and was very successful. The group of kids that I got was more enthusiastic. People didn't think the kids wanted to come out to the farm. Not so. I asked kids, they were excited. And when kids are excited about something, it's very easy to teach them. These kids was always so excited. And our first group of kids, I think it was in 1990, 89 and 90, they sold our products. We had a little vegetable stand up outside of the street, talk to people in the community to purchase produce from them. And they averaged about $75 each, children, on the produce that they sold. And I have a friend who was vice president of the bank in Newark, and I told him we wanted to open up a bank account. And he said he liked the idea, and he told me to pick a date. We'll pick a time when the bank was closed, so I had kids dress up in their best and fix their hair. They went there, and he, the vice president of the bank, would invite them in one by one. He called them, Mr. Gavin, please come in now. And then put them on in the bank. They were so excited to come out with the bank books. But when they returned to school, they were the new, I guess you would say, peer-oriented role models. Because one of the articles that's written in the paper, and I stated to the reporter that you have to create a new peer orientation. And when they go back to school, they were that new peer orientation. All the kids saw the pictures in the paper, they appeared on local TV, cable TV. And so we had kids wanting to come out to the farm. So that's one of the things that I've tried to inspire since I came back here. Did the same thing here by getting kids in the inner city to come out and participate in the Rise and Shine gardening project. So that got done very well and very exciting. And what Tashalam was saying about having an area where the kids can work and and become acquainted with the plant is absolutely necessary, because whatever you do has to be perpetual. It has to continue, and you cannot do that unless you have the children that you put in, because they are the next generation.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I love this concept here because this is something that I have had in my mind for a number of years, that if we could put together all the disciplines and, make it work, and make it work, as you said, in a holistic way, where it's, it serves us and the whole concept of life is, it's continuity. It goes in a circle. It's, and when you do that, all things will serve better. You are happier, and you're not stressed out, feeling that you have to make a lot of money in order to survive, because in everything is the answer. And our children, business, all the disciplines that she mentioned. I forgot to mention that I am a carpenter. That's what I did in New Jersey. I made my living in carpentry, cabinet making, and sign painting. So if we are able to pull this off, I want to serve in whatever capacity that I can to, that the program would move forward.
Bless that. Bless that. Bless that. How many is it of you and your siblings at this time?
It's 8 of us.
Still left?
It was 9, originally 9. My brother Eddie passed in 1991, but 8 of us out of the 9 are still living.
Bless it.
And my sister Marguerite and I reside at the farm now. The rest of them live in the area between Charlotte and Rock Hill, so in proximity.
Bless that. Bless that. So does everybody else have the same kind of zeal as you?
No. No, not everybody, but they're supportive in the ways that they can be. My brother Lee is more scientific. He's much more into the science of farming than I am. That's his desire, and I think he would love that, because his passion is to teach the real science of product. He's gotten into what makes the seed work and how the genetic makeup. That's him, and I think if I talk to him about it, he would certainly be interested, and that's the capacity that he would love to work in.
Awesome, very good. And I'll just share this. A lot of times, because how old are you, Brother Wally? If I'm not putting you all on the spot.
No, 78.
78. Don't he look good? Don't he look awesome for 78 years old? You would never think it. Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
Yes, I'm
Exactly. So a lot of times when our elders in the community have this property, have land, when they transition away, then they leave it to their children. And what I keep seeing in so many different scenarios, that the younger generation, they just end up selling off the land. And what is your position on that? I mean, what do you see for the future of Cathcart Farm, honestly?
Kind of a dilemma, in a sense. I don't feel that I have enough participation from the youth in the family. Hopefully that we can, rectify this soon. But I do get children who are coming out who are excited about it. I call that source orientation. If you orientate money to the source, they're not so easily removed. I have a little scenario I like to run them through. When I first get kids out there, I have to teach them that the concept of the natural environment, they come out of oftentimes contentious environment, but they're always contending with someone. This is mine. And I first get them in the car, they're fighting over who's going to ride in the front seat. But there's simple things like this, and I'll use the natural environment as a teaching mechanism. One of the first things we do, we'll go early in the morning and watch the birds. And I'll ask them the question, did you ever heard of the adage that the early bird gets the worm? They said, yes. I said, you know what that means? They're not sure. So when they get out there and you see the birds flying around in the morning, you know what they're doing? They're getting a worm. The earthworm comes out of the ground at night, and it has to get back in the ground before the sun gets too hot, because it has a secretion on its body. It has to get back down to earth, so it gets out early before that worm gets down to the earth. And I show them all the different species of birds, and you find around there's a robin, there's a blackbird, there's a bluebird, there's a redbird. You don't see fighting among them because they're all going to get wormed. God, you say God, whatever your religious persuasion teaches you that runs this universe, provides that for them. Don't you think that being the highest form of creating God's creation, He would not do that for you, and you have to fight and battle your sister or brother or who's going to ride in the front seat? That registered with them. You know, they'll sit back, and after a while, I'll find that it's easy to get them to cheer. Who's going to hold Crystal's role when she's in that? I want to hold Crystal. I want. Yet the volunteer showing that giving back is nature's process, and when you're in that order or process, it's easier for you. So you bring down the contentiousness that existed among them in the city over the shoes, whatever, those silly kind of things. So the earth and that environment is that kind of classroom that offers that teaching mechanism, and it's powerful.
Bless it. Bless that. So I see this kind of a project, if we were to, whether we partner with Cathcart Farm for a portion of the project or the project as a whole, as a way of continuing the legacy of the Cathcart Farm, that to me would be a way of doing that. So that if your nieces and nephews and children decide that, well, I don't want to be on the farm, I don't want to do the farm, I would just rather sell the farm and keep the money, this will be the kind of project that will continue to keep the legacy of the Cathcart Farm alive. And that's what I consider one of the big benefits to us doing it there. As well as the fact that, as well as, again, wherever we are, it's going to be the type of thing that's going to draw financial revenue. So that would as well be a part of what we bring to the table if we're to do this project on your land.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we do that because we're talking about the group that would
Yes.
be mutually agreed upon. But I think wherever we do this project, it will serve as that model, that role model, because there are many of us who can't envision something because we haven't seen it. To some of my peers, some of people like myself who own land around there, would love to do something with it, but just using the contemporary understanding, they can't seem to come up with much ways and means to get it done. They need to see and be convinced otherwise, because I've talked to many of them. They want to hold their land, they continue to do a little farming. So if that was something that they could see, they could market, we could fix it up a way where they could grow organic vegetables and have them, a truck to the facility. Yes, but I see it's kind of multifaceted, and I think it would work.
That's it. Very good. Very good. All right. Any other things you want to share, or any questions at this time about anything at this time?
I want to share this. I've had tours come out to the farm, and speaking of tours, one of the things that our farm could provide when I no longer on the scene, it could become a tourist attraction. I've talked to people in the tourist industry, and they like that. In fact, I have a museum there, which is an archive of a park that I'm working on now, where we take tours and kids and ride them in the tractor around there. So there are other things you can do besides farming, and then you could be a tourist industry. The tourist industry is very powerful in that area. We have
Bless it.
it could serve as that.
Bless that.
Okay.
All right. Yes. I also wanted, yes, sir. Thank you.
No. Okay.
Bless you. Bless you. I wanted Sid to come forward and kind of share a little bit about the situation he has going on. This is Sydney,
yes.
Sydney,
Chief.
and we call him Chief.
Yes.
And he is also a farmer. His farm project is in Hopkins.
Yes, ma'am.
And which is about what? 20 minutes, 30 minutes away?
But I'll say 15, 20 minutes.
Okay,
from here,
15
yeah.
to 20 minutes from here. And you work, the property is owned by,
It's owned by actually a friend of mine that I met. Just God's grace, God's grace. That's all I can say. It was a friend of a friend, basically. I had never met him before. I've known that friend for a long time, but I'd never met him before. I went to go do something for him. Actually, he needed some help, and I don't know what got me speaking of the, you know, my wants to grow organic products for not only myself but for others, because of the fact that I am a cancer survivor myself, and I felt like even being young, I always wanted to know where did that come from,
yeah,
because I would never ever want another child to have to go through that. So in all the research I did, it just kept pointing back to mostly diets.
yes,
Your diet plays a lot of part in your health, and I felt like I can't be a doctor and fix everything, but I can fix that. I can
yes.
fix my diet, and I can fix a diet for a community. So that's always been my plan. And after I got finished working with him, he took me to the land. It's 27 acres altogether. He's been putting mulch down for the last 5 years.
Is it cleared?
Yes, it's cleared somewhat. I'll say maybe 10 trees that need to be cut down, and a little work needs to be done on the 27 acres. But across the street from the 27 acres is where I am now.
Okay.
My plan is February, March, I'm going to go across the street and start working there. Where I am now, I'm just growing for seed, to get enough seed for the community that I want to build. And I've actually been on the same road that you're on now.
Yeah.
As a child, I had that same vision of starting a community, an all natural community for not only me and my family, but for others as well.
Yes, bless that.
Yes, I there's not been one seed that I put in my hand and put in the ground that didn't grow. I'm just trying different things and see what grows good here, and what grows good in the ground that I have and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Bless that. Very good. So now you were telling the gentleman who actually owns the property is an elder gentleman
Yes.
as well.
Yes, he's about 70, I think, 70, and he's a, I don't want to say stuck in his ways type of guy, but to a certain extent, he's one of those guys. He knows what he knows, and he wants to stick to what he knows. But and as far as reaching out to others, and that's never been his plan. He kind of keeps to himself. But he's offered the land for me to grow anything that I would possibly want to grow. He said before there was nothing but trees and a forest. Basically, he had the wood chopped down and had that sold, and now it's just ground. So nothing. There's no DDT in the ground. There's no chemicals in the ground as far as anything being grown.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to find a water source there, have it tested, and those different things. But as of now, everything is growing very well.
Awesome. Awesome. So how do you water the crops?
9 times out of 10, it's going to be coming from up top,
Okay.
from rainwater.
Okay.
I do. I keep the tubs out so when it does rain.
Catch the rain.
Catch some
Excellent.
rainwater, and that's what I water the garden with when it seems
Yes.
like it needs water.
Yeah. Do we realize that in some states here in the United States that it's supposed to be against the law to catch rainwater?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that like ridiculousness or
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
I mean, how you gonna tell me that I can't
Yes.
catch
Yeah.
water that God sent from the sky?
From the sky.
That is
Yes.
like so crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's past crazy.
That's
Past
ridiculousness. I mean, to me, that is just a perfect example of the kind of tyranny that is running rampant, you know,
Absolutely.
We have to put a stop to it.
and we do.
And
We really
I feel like us as a community putting a stop to it would be starting our own community
That's
and living by
right.
our own ways
That's
of life.
exactly right.
Because I don't feel like no government or no other person should be able to control anyone and how they eat and how
That's
they live
right.
their life.
That's right.
That's always been my.
That's
I want to live off the grid, as they
Yeah.
call it.
Definitely.
As
Definitely.
they call it.
Definitely. That's the plan. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I did speak with Miss Maggie Bostick. She was another lady. She has 26 acres of land, just about 30 minutes outside of Columbia. And she actually she wasn't really interested in the community concept. She said she has her own, I guess, mission or vision that she's building on. But she right now is living on 13 acres, which I'm guessing is connected to this 26 that she wants to sell. And she wants to sell this 26 acres for $60,000, which is not really that bad. It's not really that bad.
Megan, how much size me?
Oh, are you really? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, I mean, that's something else. That's just another possibility and option, for some property that just can be purchased. And I was hoping to see Charlton by now because he was telling me that he was bringing someone with him, a gentleman who has 100 acres of land. So this meeting is really focused on the whole land concept because that's our first real step is finding out where we're going to do this. Yes.
Is there water on the bus?
I had not asked her. Had not had enough discussion with her to know for certain, but I can and will ask her that. Yeah, definitely. So it was good to know that she has a figure in mind, and who knows, she might be a little negotiable. She might be a little reasonable. Maybe we could do a rent to own, type of thing. So I don't know. We will see. So are there any other of us in the room that had access to any property that we feel might fit this scenario? All right. No one yet. It's okay.
Well, I've got a really big backyard that I'm not doing.
Okay. Miss McKay has a big backyard.
And it could grow food, but it's not right now. And there's a vacant lot next to me that is a real possibility.
I feel. This lot next to you is, well, how many acres?
I'm not really good at acreage.
Okay.
Maybe a half of an acre,
Okay.
3/4 of an
Yeah,
acre.
we
maybe.
definitely need more than that. We need
Okay.
more than that.
Okay.
We're gonna need a minimum, honestly, in the 20-some acres realm, a minimum, to do the fullness of this project. Now, what could happen is we could have satellite locations that do different things. We could have a network of spaces that grow food. We can have a network of spaces that have the community center type concept, because we'll get this initial community center going, and we can have a series of those around that could function as retreat centers, conference centers, classroom spaces, things like that, that we can have a network. So that is always as well a possibility. Let's see if I haven't missed anything that's in our program. Yeah, we were also expecting some representatives from the Orangeburg group today. The project with the South Carolina State University. I spoke with them this past week, and they're definitely trying to get here for these sessions. The gentleman is the executive director of what they call the 1890s Project, which is an agricultural program that's connected to South Carolina State University. And there's a land grant involved as well as a $5 million budget. And the bottom line is that it doesn't matter what they do as long as it's agricultural and it's a green project. And this is that project, honestly. But like I stated last time we got together, my only real solid concern with that is that it's owned by the university, which is a state-run HBCU, which means it's in essence owned by the state. So now if we were to do that arrangement with them, we would have to get a deal that says that we have dominion over that acreage for so much time, so many years. And they can't just, after we build up all this awesomeness, just boot us off. You know, we're not having none of that. We're not going to put ourselves in a position like that. So everything is available. Everything is out there. And to me, no negotiation is outside of the box of negotiating. So it's just a matter of making a proposal for what we're trying to do, what we want to do, and see how that proposal is received and whatever agreement we can come to. Jamal Bennett is the gentleman here who has has been collecting information on building earthen homes. And Jamal, if you would come up a little bit and just kind of share a little bit about what your interest is and what you're willing to bring to the table on behalf of this project. I had sent him a video last week after our gathering, and he was saying he got tons of those videos that's showing how to make these awesome things. So along with that Earthship project, which is with the tires and the sand and glass and even plastic bottles, that's everything we're using recyclable materials. So tell us a little bit more about that and what your experience is with it.
Man, it's been researched strictly. There are other ways to do earthen foundations. The Earthship is one where they use the tires. There's another one that they use earth bags, and it's pretty much, the bag that they put earth in it, and they ram it down to where over time it cures and becomes cement. And these type of structures tend to last very long. They are, earthquake proof, hurricane, pretty much natural disaster proof.
Bulletproof.
It's kind of hard to shoot from stone.
Yeah, we need to make sure it's bulletproof too.
But I was always drawn towards these earthen structures because I never really was a fan of wood, four corner walls. I like something that's more organic, round shape, whatever shape I can imagine other than a square. Mm-hmm. And I've done this research for over a year and a half. I've tried to, make trips. There are a couple of places that have structures like this around the area. Some in South Carolina, North Carolina. There's actually an earth structure in pretty much every state. Mm-hmm. And I try to, get to them every once in a while. They also do other things, like most of these places they have where they teach classes on, building ovens or different other things using other stuff other than earth. There's a cob where they, make straw houses or pretty much anything that you can do to make a house using the earth. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's always interested me. Like I said, I have collected, books, videos. I have lot of it safe. I didn't bring it today. I should have brought it. I will next time. And what I hope to gain from this group is, just to share information, to use what I have collected, unknowingly, to better this community and get this project started.
Blessed. Very good. Very good. Well, we are. It's time. I think time is of the essence. I feel that we really do have all of the pieces to the puzzle. We just got to put the pieces in place, honestly. And I think what's going to really make this movement move and manifest is us being consistent and us continue to reach out in our own reality, tapping into other individuals who are like-minded, who sharing the same vision. Because the more I talk about this, and what I finally realized, that I've been talking about this for the last maybe 2 or 3 years, and so many others have been having the same exact vision. So that tells me that we're supposed to be doing this. We have to do this. If we are not going to just totally leave the country, this is what we have to do. And I'm not opposed to totally leaving the country, y'all. Okay. We got some folks investigating some land in Ecuador. So get y'all passports, please. Just in case. But for those of us right now, honestly, it's looking like I'm going to be here. If I'm going to be here, I want to be around people that look like me, that think like me, that want to live like I live, and want to have some peace and some stress-free living. We don't all have to do the same exact thing, the same exact way. We're not trying to get it like that. But the bottom line is that we want to live a life of stress-free. We want to live a life of peace. We want to live a holistic life. We want to work cooperatively with each other. We want to be supporting each other, assisting each other. So that's what I'm talking about. We don't have to have the same system of everything going on, but essential core things we want to be across the board on the same vibration. So yes, I'm going to ask if we have any questions. Thank you so much for sharing. If we have any questions, any concerns, any other ideas, anything that you want to bring forth at this time. Now is that time.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
As far as the community that we're trying to build, because as far as farming, I've done a livestock farming as well. That's something that I have interest in.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you are raw and your restaurant is raw,
Yes.
a raw diet, but
Right.
is that something you would consider bringing to the community, but for others?
I think it's definitely something that we should consider. In my highest mind, in my most ideal scenario, I honestly would like to live in a situation where there's no cruelty to animals, and that there's no killing of animals and no eating of animals. That's me. That's where I'm coming from. So if there's somebody who happens to be in the circle of sin, but I gotta have my this, then I'ma listen. We're gonna listen. We need to hear that.
Free range egg.
Yeah, so and then we need to make some decisions,
Yeah, just a little something.
Exactly. So like on Brother Waleed's farm, they have chickens, then they let the chickens hatch the eggs, and they sell or they give the eggs away and stuff like that. Hey, exactly. So it's good. So it's I'm just holding the vision in the highest sense, honestly. And whatever it's going to look like at the fullness of manifestation, I can't say exactly, but it's going to be most high. That's what I'm seeing. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
With love staying in the community, but whatever service they would have to offer,
Yes.
whether it's to the community, teaching, practitioners, whatever, would it have to be state board certified, or would it have to be no certification process
What I'm saying,
outside of?
it's not so much that you have to be state board certified. And again, it kind of depends on what we're talking about. It depends on what we're talking about. The bottom line is this: the Babylon is falling, the sky is falling, it's falling, it's falling. So who needs their approval?
Thank you.
We don't need their approval to do what we do. Now, we do need to be competent, capable, and efficient at what we do.
Right.
Exactly. But have that system seal of approval when it's dead? Mm-mm.
I'm absolutely against it. I was just saying,
Yes.
somebody was to get out, somebody from outside the community was to get offered the service. in the
Right.
community, you know, I wouldn't want any of us to be held liable in a lawsuit type
I feel
situation.
you. It's like I've gone to many retreat centers over the course of the last 20 years of my life. I mean, at one time I was just like on what we call in Rastafari on a Christ trot, where you just go wherever the Most High sends you. And I've lived in a Hare Krishna temple. I've lived in the Buddhist monastery. I've lived on all kinds of retreat centers and places like that. And what happens is basically you kind of have to sign a disclaimer. And that's what will happen with our space. When you're out in nature, you expect to see a snake every now and again, expect to see a mosquito, this, that, and the other. Stuff is going to do what it does. But again, as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, we won't have any problems. I don't anticipate any problems. Anything else? Yes, sir.
I guess on the website that was created, there's
Yes.
the book about creating eco villages. I think I encourage everyone to read that book because it is very informative about the process of going through it, ways that people have done it successfully.
Yes.
And the steps and hurdles you will face. And,
Yes.
You'll at least be somewhat prepared and be able to handle the situation better. There's
Yes.
Many different situations, and the more information you have, the better you'll be able to respond to it.
Yes, definitely.
It's on the website.
On what website?
The Facebook page.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you put it on the Facebook page?
Not yet. I haven't heard, but it's called Creating Life, Practical Tools for Growing Eco-Villages and Intentional Communities.
Creating life, practical tools for
To grow eco-villages and intentional communities.
practical tools to building eco villages and intentional
Yes,
communities.
and it's a free PDF. It's on the Big Tent
Okay.
website.
So that's a free PDF that's on the Big Tent website that people can download and read and study on, because yes, we definitely are going to be consulting and conferring with other groups that have started eco villages so that we can learn what has worked for them, what has not worked for them, so that we don't make mistakes that other people have made. We don't have to make mistakes unnecessarily. So we definitely are going to do that. I'm thinking by our next gathering, I would like to have reached out to some of these other communities and possibly find some kind of way for them to communicate to us, what has been their scenarios. Yes.
I don't know if this might be interesting for any framework about communication.
Mhm.
Bradley is very versed and has a lot of friends that use radio systems that are not digital, but actual like OCD.
Oh, okay.
And we were
Yes.
thinking that might be a good way for communities, or at least even different places.
Yes.
Let's say we have something in one piece of land and something in another piece of land.
Yes.
Maybe we have things that we don't really want to send emails about.
That's right.
So we were thinking that radio system, And it's
Yes.
something that, you know, he has friends like in Virginia and stuff, sort of off the grid guys and stuff, that they could teach a group of us who are interested
Yes.
in being the person for the communication or something.
Bless that.
And apparently it's as easy as, sounds really easy.
Bless
If
it.
you know,
Yes.
and that was something we wanted to bring up. That's
Okay.
a potential way. Well, Bradley was telling me that in the future, if things go down on internet or something,
Yeah.
or the government makes it illegal for certain types of communication. I mean, everybody got a cell phone here. Everybody know you're here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But once you start feeding people wheatgrass and they start walking out with no cancer, you know, that caused people to kind of want to hear what you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
So I figured that might be something we want to consider. That is a possibility.
Yes.
Way to communicate.
Yes.
And not today, but just I like plan Bs and plan Cs.
That's good.
And we bought a in the last year. Bradley's my mate, and he's a doctor of geophysics from University of South Carolina, and
Bless it.
and I'm a metaphysician. And the last year, we have gone through a series of changes in our lives where we were really preparing for what's to come. You know, meditating, we knew something gonna come. So we bought a trailer hitch for our car, and we have basically given away and sold most of our material goods because we felt like if something goes, first of all, we have to not be so needy.
Yes.
We have to
Yes.
not need these complicated foods, expensive
Yes.
foods. We have to not need expensive things. So we decided that we needed to willingly
Yes.
let go of
Yeah.
things before there's some type of a horrible event or something, and people are trying to harm us to get the things that they perceive as being of value from us. So we've taken the time, and it's taken a long time, and we still every day horrified by how much stuff they doubled out more stuff, and it's always more stuff. But I just wanted to reach out and say that, you know, how you were saying that everybody like you, sir, found themselves for the past 2 or 3 years preparing or being drawn to some kind of information, and
Yes.
you know, and the beautiful thing about how we just all get led to one another and stuff. You know?
Yes.
Well, I just wanted to share that that's one way that we've been preparing is trying to get stronger, trying to get able to eat less, trying to just have less things in our home, have
Yes.
less things that own us. You know, a lot of things mean a lot of cleaning. A lot of rooms in our house mean a lot of cleaning. So we started renting out the rooms of our house. You know, they have a website called Airbnb. And on that site, we're able to advertise our rooms to like-minded people. So we had a woman come through. She has a Ayurvedic, 700-acre Ayurvedic retreat in Florida.
Wow.
So we've really been blessed to just sort of have a stream of people coming through. They appreciate organic breakfast. They appreciate that, you know, and it's paying our bills. So we do not have to spend our money on these things, and we've been able to buy this travel trailer. It's little, and we practice and living in it. Practicing like, okay, how are we gonna live in this little spot and not, you know, drive each other crazy? But our goal is this winter to get on the road. We want to go to Arizona, to some of these earthship communities. We want to map out different communities across the South, all the way to the West Coast, and we want to film it. And we just want to go to every alternative community and say, "What's up?
Yeah.
You know, what's up? Y'all want to build
Bless
some
that.
solar panels? Okay, we got directions.
Yes.
You know."
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're coming from. We just want to be free
Yes.
off the system, and we want to go and see other people before so we can kind of see where people, because there are some communities they've been there 10 years, so they had sort of a lot of, they made mistakes that we don't have to make.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
So, does anybody want to come with us? Or you want to? You want to know something about the center? Let
Yes.
us know. We're going to map it.
Yes, definitely. We can make that a big old field trip.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
real.
we're going to be, that's right.
Yes,
We could
do
be, scouts.
a week or
Scouts.
two long tour
Yeah.
of all the eco villages across the country.
Brady is like an expert of like living in your spot, in your car.
Listen. And okay, so Mary said some really critical things that I think we need to just kind of take note of. And one is just honestly, like what she and Bradley are doing, they're consciously downsizing their lives before the rude awakening the forced downsize comes along, which we don't know what that is going to be. We don't know when that is going to be. We don't know what that's going to look like. Exactly. So if we're not consciously downsizing our lives, we need to be doing that. And the only thing that's truly of any real value in this reality is land. That's the only thing that is of true value here. Say it again. And of course us. Yes. The soul that travels around in this embodiment, and that's why we're here to realize what's going on around us and deal with it effectively. And so, as most people are still very, very caught up in the three-dimensional illusions of what's going on in this reality, all the many realities that exist, and a lot of it is illusionary, and they're caught up in it, and they cannot get out of it because they're in fear, they're in confusion, they're in some form of negativity. We are outside of that box. So those of us who are living in another kind of light of awareness, we have to do this. We have to. There is no other choice for us. And we're going to consciously downsize our lives and consciously come together to do something that is for us as a collective, or we're going to be out in the cold on our own, struggling through some craziness with folks that's going to be on zombie mode because they eating McDoodles and eating death every day. And then when it hits the fan for them, those are the ones that's going to be off the chain and tearing things up and destroying and being destroyed. And if you're too close to that, you're going to get some of the aftermath, which is why it's critical that we do what we're doing, which is bringing our minds together, bringing our time and our energy and our resources together to build something that can then function as somewhat of a buffer between us and the madness that is destined to show up at some point. Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that we're doing is we found that we both have 3-bedroom houses on like an acre of land. So we pretty much made our peace with the fact that where our houses are located are not in our best interest in the case of any type of a emergency situation.
Yes.
That we just have too little nature or too many neighbors that are ill.
Yes.
Mentally ill, emotionally ill, physically ill, and want to stay that way. Okay, they're not saying, "Oh my goodness, we all dropped dead of this illness, that illness, and we want to make." No, they want it to stay that way. So we decided to sell our properties, and we were thinking we were going to go towards North Carolina and try to buy as much land as we could. But we're not opposed to joining together with others and purchasing
Yes.
a much larger
Yes.
tract of land, because once you're talking about 100 acres, it's practically $1,000 an acre at that point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
prices just go down.
Mm-hmm.
They go down with
Right. The more acreage you get.
You know?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
so, you know, you get 5 or 10 people who can put together,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
I don't know, 5,000-10,000 each, whatever.
Yes.
You know, we got 2 cars. We don't need 2 cars.
Right.
We need some land.
That's it. That's
You
it.
know.
So I have another.
5,000 will get us that 60.
Say it again.
12 people at $5,000 you
Get us that 60,000. Yes. Bless that. I would be one of those $5,000 people.
I was one of those 5,000.
So that we got 2 $5,000 commitments right here. We got 3 $5,000 commitments right here. We got 4 $5,000 commitments right here. Right here. Okay. Y'all see how quickly this could happen? Seriously though, right?
I mean, we're not adverse to just paying. And
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. So then my next question is going to be to Jamal. How easy is it going to be for us to get these things that we need, the tires? And I know these are recyclable stuff. Do you know of places where we can go get these things?
You get tires of anywhere. That's what the earth ships, me personally. I like the earth bag method because tires, they tend to be like really big and the wall that
Yes.
the walls are this
Nice
big
and thick.
more.
Yeah,
So
bulletproof.
with,
Bulletproof. We want that.
It's like 200 tires on my cousin's land.
Oh
right next to
wow.
mine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like a ditch, like
Yeah.
200 tires.
And then also they have these the containers, the shipping containers.
That's what I.
Yeah.
That now
That's what
those
I
I like too. Those are
Really?
nice.
About 10.
Yeah.
They stack them.
Even if we don't do the tire, the earthen ships with the tires, I would like our gate around the community to be made with the tires.
Yeah.
We need bulletproof.
Bulletproof.
Yes, boy.
Bulletproof.
That's it. So yeah, so okay. We're kind of I'm sorry. We're gonna listen.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, no.
Sorry.
I was listening to y'all.
Oh, I was asking him if he saw the video about the dude who does the architect who invented the earth ship. Because Bradley and I, we basically, for us, fun time is watching documentaries about this stuff.
Yes.
And I really was particularly liking they had a system, which was everybody built each other's house.
I see. Yes,
So
that's
it was
right.
like 20 people, they all got together and they built one person's house.
Right.
Or one building,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
And they have an actual system that works, where they just go from the next person.
Yes.
So the person they just get there, they might not have a house for like a year,
Right.
but they definitely are
They working
welcome.
towards
Yes.
it.
They have,
They working towards
you
it.
know,
That's it.
so all the people build each house.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's like, we don't have certifications, like you said, but he said he have the directions.
You got the knowledge.
I got shovels. I got a
Mhm.
shovel,
Mhm.
you know,
That's
and
it.
I noticed that on the raw food diet, I ain't never tired.
Okay.
I'm
Can't
never
get no
tired.
sleep.
I'm never sleepy, never tired. But I just wanted to bring that up. That whole
Bless
togetherness building
Yes.
model I thought was really,
Yeah.
really
Well, that's
impressive.
definitely something that I see us doing, because as I watched that video that I sent to Jamal, I was like, okay, yeah, we could do this. This is us doing this, and yes, we will have to deal with the building codes and permits, and we'll have to deal with those things.
I don't
But-
think you need a building code to do it. The building code is for a structure that's on.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
You would need it because it's more like a experimental housing, and then that's what one house, but then the community is an even bigger project.
Mm.
So it's like some zoning permits.
Depends on where you are. Yeah.
Building.
It's like
if they're
breaks down to
religious.
different things.
I see.
That's why I think this book, I did from the big thing, it goes into a lot of that. And then I have the video that help talk about the regulations and stuff. And then just to find out what's also specific to South Carolina and
Yes.
the counties and stuff like that.
Excellent. See, this kind of expertise and research is the kind of stuff that's critical for us succeeding at what we do, because we definitely don't want to put a lot of energy into this and then somebody show up talking about, oh no, you got to tear that down. Like, we tearing this down. We bulletproof.
Have you ever looked into, I think they call them mound homes?
Mound homes?
It's like one big round.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you go underground.
Oh, okay.
All the living is underground.
Oh, wow.
In the hills?
Yeah, there's a big
Okay.
mound.
Yeah.
And then, but you go down once you step into the door. You go down and the hole just opens up. It really amazed me. I watched the video on them probably about a year ago.
Wow.
And it's this one guy, I don't remember his name or anything. This one guy, he said he had a $100,000 house and just, had a good life, good job.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer and stuff. He said he just wanted to get away from that and go back to living how he wanted to live and not, with all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
So, he said it took him, it wasn't an everyday thing. He said he did it on the weekends. He said it took him a year to build it, but it's like a mansion underground.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, it's like a mansion underground.
My only issue with
it costs-
underground is that I can't see outside. I got to see outside.
But what are you telling me? Something about how to get the sun and
It's open, yeah. It's
Like skylights or something.
No, it's open. Like, I guess certain areas of it is open because it's like his is built. It's two mounds. It's one mound that you walk into, and then it's another mound on the back of it. I guess. And it's like when you walk into the back, he called it his sunroom.
Okay.
And it's just open, so it's amazing. I'll try to find the video.
Do it.
See if they still have the video.
like to look out the window.
Okay. I know. Me too. I know.
I
I gotta see what's going on. So, okay, so if everybody who does Facebook goes to the Nile River Eco Village Project on Facebook and join that way you can send those videos, those documentaries, information, links to all of that. Exactly. Do that. That way everybody can see what's going on and we can, see together and have discussions and move to the next level. Bless it. Let me just make certain how we doing over there, Bradley. All right. Did anybody get in over there? So, so we have several folks on our list of potential investors, partnerships, and cooperatives. And for those who, I emailed to several folks this package. But if on the sign-in sheet, people put their email addresses? Okay, good. Because I will send it out again to everybody so that the new folks can get the packages as well. So that way you can kind of have the vision on paper and it makes it more real. Sometimes I think when it's on paper and you can kind of see it a little bit better. But we have potential investors, partnerships, and cooperatives. And if you know of folks in your own reality that will fit into that category that you think would be interested in something like this, invite them to the next gathering. Our objective is to meet every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Our objective is not just to meet and talk, but to meet and leave with directives, something that's going to push us to the next level of manifestation. We really want to go into our own realities and see who else may be interested in this, who else may have land that that we might be able to utilize, or land that they want to sell. Anybody else who has money, who may want to invest in something like this. And again, all the agreements will be unique based on who you are, what you bring to the table, what you want to get out of this situation. So, and I do feel like ultimately we do need to make agreements, and we need to put our agreements on paper. So that might be something that you want to consider for this week while we're away from each other. Put down on paper what it is you want to bring to the table, what it is you want to get out of this situation, what is it you really want to get from this, how do you see yourself fitting into this. And what else? Um, let's see, there's something else. Oh yeah, I know what it was. At some point, we need to, as we get closer to actually securing a property and actually start finding our raw materials to start building, we want to create a council of advisors, a council. I don't know nothing is coming to my brain other than like a wise council, a council of elders or a council of advisors that will kind of each maybe have a different area of expertise, so that we kind of have a nucleus that is kind of driving this thing and making things happen. We will. I think that Jamal has this know-how and understanding on these different styles of natural building, things like that. Brother Wali is, he's a master farmer, that type of thing. We got natural hairstylists in the house, and we got mothers who be having babies and can help other young ladies who are in that way. So and then we have people like myself who teach the culinary arts, things like this. So we need to put together an advisory board, an advisory committee, a council, and it has to be people that we're admire, respect, all of those things, so we feel good about whoever it is. People who are of the highest integrity, people that we feel we can depend on, that we can trust, that are really in it, and not I'm here today, gone tomorrow. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. So that's what we want to work towards. Any thoughts, any feelings, any questions, any concerns, any ideas, any feelings? Yes, sir. Real
I
quick.
just want to give praise to whoever did the man for the last meeting.
Yes, sir.
Very, very thorough.
Yes.
Bless that. Bless that. Very good.
I just want to say I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes. Bless it. Bless it. Because Miss Derrita, whoa, she be winning out on Facebook. And everything she be saying is right as rain. We know we need to get in line. We need to do this. So it's a beautiful thing. Yes, sir.
I just want to be clear, you said you meet every Sunday?
Yes, we are.
4 p.m.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever Sundays you can make it will be a blessing. If you can make a commitment of once or maybe twice a month, that would be great. Bless it. Bless that. Yes, Miss Gloria.
I just wanted to kind of piggyback on the letting go of things.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to say that don't be surprised if as you let go, you receive more.
Yes.
So you don't need to keep getting rid of it, but just don't get attached.
Yes.
It's just maybe
Exactly.
the other thing is the videos that Jeremiah was um, referring to are on the big tent as opposed to the Facebook, or is it on both?
I mean, I don't have to. If there's a way, I need to find a way to upload all of it. I mean, I have like gigs and gigs.
Okay. But anyway, so and he's on the big tent, and Mary is everywhere. Well, yeah, if you're not, I have your email address, and you will get an invitation. The invitation will come from Big Tent, and you visit the two-step process. So you join the Infinite Network, and then you join the Nile River Eco Project. And those videos are up there. And we talked about doing both Big Tent.
Yes.
And I don't do Facebook. I just made a mess myself on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't do it. But Big Tent is geared towards projects. It is a collaborative website for projects. It's a similar thing with Facebook, but it's a little bit more private, and it is geared specifically towards the project. So, so that, and then the last thing I want to ask is it possible that maybe we could get some plats or surveys or aerial views of some of these properties that we're considering?
Yes.
Building on.
Yes.
That way we can get a feel for what it looks like and how we can design, our
Yes.
village.
Bless that. That's a great idea.
I also wanted to add that if you just give us the address of it,
Okay.
Bradley is a GIS specialist, he's a geophysicist. So what he does is, and the reason why he doesn't work for oil companies, we might not wealthy because he refuses to work for oil companies.
Yeah.
But what he likes to do is make maps. What he does is, and make the systems in a city. What basically when you create a city, you want to make sure that sewage,
Yes.
streets where cars are going to be parked. You want to make sure that different parts of the land
Yes.
that have the ability to be very valuable, maybe in 10 or 20 years,
That's right.
are not being damaged by it being the entrance parking lot.
I
that
see.
type of thing.
Yes.
So he's very valuable to us from a point of view of planning land. He can tell you what's underneath everything. He creates systems for universities and stuff, and used to be for the government, to say what's under the ground without
Right.
cracking it.
Yes.
He does like this sound system computer things, and it that basically draws an image. The computer draws an image of what's under every layer
I see.
in the earth.
Bless that.
So if you guys get together and you guys get together,
Yes.
that would save us a whole lot of surprises down the
Bless
road.
that. Bless that.
Most of the university departments too, they have students that are in these student organizations, and they have access to all the hardware, and they have knowledge that they're building. They're cutting edge. They just don't have anywhere to practice. So most of the time, it's a great free resource to
Yes.
image an area.
Bless that.
Students are usually more than willing to come out and practice.
Okay.
I was living in a town in Costa Rica called Montezuma, right on the water, and it was a town that was sort of built up, kind of like I can imagine 20 years ago. The people started that town had meetings like this, And I lived in different communes in Italy, and I lived in India, and I noticed that a lot of places didn't do this first. And afterwards, everything became a problem.
Oh, wow.
Even now, the streets in Europe, they've got to drive cars this big because that street was never made in mind that it would ever be used to move anything.
Yeah.
So, and so I'm very fond of living in the jungle. I'm very fond of that natural place where I live.
Yes.
But today, with technology that we do have available, that the Lord has made available to us, we can actually maximize our natural spaces for things like animal migrations, so that each person can even grow in their own space. And I mean, we can do just some beautiful things.
Blessed.
We have a lot of available to us
Awesome.
make a paradise.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Also with the land thing, different counties have ways of getting rid of land that the owners no longer
Yes.
want.
Yes.
And they usually every year have auctions.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you can get properties for little to not, for just for the taxes
Taxes.
that
Yes.
are owed.
Yeah.
And that's another way of looking at it,
Yes.
or acquiring properties. Chester County is notorious for that. They have city and county tax sales
Yeah.
every year.
Oh wow.
Every year, you're just getting it just for the delinquent taxes that
Yeah.
are owed. You can get as much land as you want just for the late taxes.
So now that to me would be more like a long-term, long-range objective in this sense. When they do that, you cannot take possession of the land for a year
For 1 year.
because you have to give the original owner that year to come up with those taxes. So that's the only downside to that. Because we have a family here, and they do that a lot. They go to these. They have some auctions that are quarterly. They have some that are actually every month here in Columbia, and then they have the ones that are annually. And so they were sharing with me that they got this properties for a little or no money, just the taxes. But then they lost one because the owner paid the taxes, and so they were in it for all these months, and then eventually, it had to go back. They had to get their money back. So that to me is definitely an option for us to consider, but it's not going to be an immediate possibility. So as we consider the possibility of other locations, we can definitely consider things such as that. The other thing I know, like I've got to go and see Dr. Umar. Yes. The last thing I'm gonna say is I would like it if we all as well can put together, if you don't have already, a bio, a resume or a bio that says who you are, what your experience, what your life goal, experience, purposes, or whatever, what you want to bring to this for the next time we get together. Let's just try to make that piece happen because we really want to create a like our community log, so to speak, where we're building our community. We need to know who's in our community, who they are, what they do, what they bring, what they have to offer, that type of thing. So if we can start gathering up our bios, our resumes, whatever it is that represents you, so that we can start collecting that information on the individuals who would really want to be in our community. Any last questions before we close it out? Yes, ma'am.
Should we send you the bio in response to the minutes of this meeting?
Yes, ma'am. You can do that. You can do that. You can do that. Anyone else? All righty. Well, I had called about the Umar Johnson lecture last evening to try to reserve my seat. They told me they was all booked up. I was like, okay. They're retired. I took all the seats. Okay. Dr. Umar Johnson. Oh, where is it? It's somewhere downtown, right?
Over there off
Whaley Street.
What's that there? Neil. I know the area. I grew up there, but it's on the south side. Coming out the Street. You're gonna take people all the way around. Yeah, it's over that way. And it's in the park, going behind the gas station. I know the area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there. That's exactly it.
Yeah. I can't think, it used to be a paper mill that was right there, but it turned into like a
Cotton mill, yeah.
And it turned into a market, so it's across the street.
Olympic
That's
mill,
Olympic mill. So it's across the street from there behind the gas station.
All righty.